Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Digital Youth Discussion Group. I'm Melanie McCartney, Director of Resource Sharing for SEFLIN. Today, we have Robert Anstett presenting for us on apps to help organize your day. Bob is the coordinator for digital initiatives for Broward County Libraries. Bob is in charge of the Creation Station at the main library in Fort Lauderdale, as well as Creation Station business and other creative spaces around Broward County. Bob likes to say that he lives in the future, where he gets to work with 3D printing, creative design, hands-on maker projects, and robotics. Bob is currently organizing and running a robotics track for the public to learn coding, building robots, as well as a virtual reality track with an Oculus Rift PC Vive, along with other VR and augmented reality tools, such as Microsoft HoloLens, available for the public to try out. Bob works at building connections with the local community and the library, along with fostering cooperation between libraries around the state of Florida and beyond. Bob, thank you so much for being here to present for us today.
Oh, not a problem at all. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's class. Today we're going to talk about apps to help organize your day, and it's going to be a little bit different than you might have thought. One of the things I hate about classes like this is when a presenter gets up and says, here's these 20 different apps we're going to show you today, and we're going to give you this 30-second intro into all of these different apps. I don't find that really useful for myself, and I don't think you're going to find that useful either. So we're going to talk today about some concepts. We are going to talk about some ideas and making sure that we're going to look at what works on both of these things for you. What works for you to be able to use and do these apps, help keep you organized and things like that. We're going to talk about the ideas, about why you do this kind of stuff. Why are you trying to be organized? What are you trying to work on? And then we're also going to do some practical hands-on stuff of let's look at this. And in fact, we're going to duck out of the whole presentation at one point and bring up a couple of the apps that we're talking about and do live work in the app so that you see exactly what it's like to mess around inside of one of these and talk about this kind of stuff. As always, if you have any questions, just type them up in the chat. Be glad to help you out with that. Make this an interactive thing as much as possible and get you guys the answers that you want right now. And of course, this will be up online afterwards, and you'll be able to ask me about it through email or phone or whatever when you see me around. One key thing that I want to stress about this entire presentation is you do you. I'm going to give you ideas. I'm going to say, Bob loves this, or I found people who like this. That might not be good for you. That might not be what you want. That may not be what you need. So you have to do things that are going to help you stay organized, help you get through your day, herding your cats along as it happens to be, whether you need a cattle prod, whether you need a more gentle thing. It's going to work for you and be able to pull that off. And we're going to help you figure out today, I think, the best way that fits your style of stuff. So getting organized. One of the first top things is using what you already have at hand. And if you were with me in the room right here, you would see I'm picking up my phone because you have your phone nearby all the time, but I'm gonna bet you also have some paper. And the Paperless Society is not here yet. We're taking some steps, we're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. We are not at the point yet where we can say, here, I don't need paper anymore. I only need my screens. I only need my computer, my laptop, my phone, whatever it is. We're not quite to Star Trek. However, how much paper do you really have laying about your space? You've got some scrap paper, and then you've got more paper with all the stuff written down on it. I admit I have to write things down on paper sometimes, not because I want to, but because I'm in a situation where it's frowned upon to pull out my phone and type away on it, or because I just don't have the time, or I have to quickly I receive a document from somebody else. How many Post-it notes are in your office right now? How many things are stuck up on a wall? Do you have a whole wall that you've wallpapered that you've put up there and made a whole thing of just Post-it notes on things? It's great for doing a quick analysis and moving some things around when you're sharing it with people. And that's kind of the key thing. how are you sharing those Post-it notes? How are you making those things out there and available to people so that other people on your team can help out? Because if it's only organizing for yourself, stick with paper. Stick with that idea of, I like paper, I want paper. We're going to get to an app, how to change that for you in just a minute. But if you're going to share it out with somebody, do you really want to hand them all of your handwritten notes? Or are you going to go to the photocopier and copy those things? Doesn't that sound kind of weird? So let's talk about what we can do. Going to full digital, yeah, that can seem intimidating, that whole, wait a minute, what am I going to do? But I bet you check your phone a couple times a day. I bet you check your phone to see you have a notification about this, you have a notification about that. It's not that much harder to pick up your phone and see if you have a reminder. We're going to talk about the difference in between reminders and notifications also in a few minutes. But in general, don't think about this as, I have to jump in and do this whole new thing. I need to buy a new tablet. I need to be all this super organized stuff and work with this. And I'm going to have my voice assistant help me and do these things. Because you did take my voice assistant class, didn't you? If not, come on back. We're going to teach that one again for you. But you're going to make sure that you learn how to do all this sort of stuff. So how do you actually choose? What are you doing to figure out these things? Because I did the quick search on yesterday for you on this. There's over 250 organizational apps listed in the Play Store, and there's even more in the iOS store. There's an entire industry built around just making these apps, selling you these apps, getting you to pay money and do all this stuff. I'm all for that. I'm all for this new economy of everybody building and making and becoming a maker and developing and doing their own thing. But I'm not about to tell you you have to go buy this app in particular and that's going to solve your problems. There's too many different apps out there. There's too many different ways of anticipating what you might want and how they might take your money from you to give you a hardcore recommendation on a whole set of apps. The ones I show you today are all going to be free, or the freemium model. There may be a buy-in on, there is definitely a buy-in on one of them, but I'm going to show you how that works. And then the others are either totally free or you would pay to get extra features. It's a great thing to find what you want to go with and stick with it. One way that everybody has is you've got the kitchen drawer. And I know everybody there all of a sudden just immediately knows exactly what I'm talking about. You've got that one drawer in the kitchen that you just can't quite open sometimes because you've got so much stuff crammed in there, but you kind of know what's in there. That's the same idea of using your network drives, whether that's here in Broward County where we have a common drive that all you can get to from anywhere in the on a county PC, or if you're out there in the rest of the world and you're accessing through Dropbox or iCloud, Google Drive, using OneDrive. Because that's built into your Office suite and you've got access to it. That's one way of maybe semi-organizing digitally because you're just dumping everything out there onto the cloud. Remember, the cloud is just somebody else's computer. Remember that. So you're just hoping they back it up too. But you're getting it out digitally a little bit. So maybe that's a good way of taking those first steps and getting that kind of stuff organized that way for you. But you need to take the time and effort to organize into folders and make it so that everybody can do it, and then figure out how are you going to share this. If you want to share something with me on Google Drive, great, thank you very much. Sorry, I can't do it when I'm here at work. I have to do it from home because the county blocks me from getting to network drives other than the county network drives. And if I want to share something with you, exactly the same problem. Unless you're part of the county, you won't be able to get in to do it. So this whole kitchen drawer, toss something up on the cloud doesn't quite work for a lot of people. One thing that does work is a lot of people like having their hands, something physically in their hands. They like that journaling idea, piece of paper and writing with a pen. Well, that journaling method works also online. Evernote and OneNote are the two most popular ways of doing that. And both of those apps, both of those programs allow you and give you access to be able to see in story form, in written form, what you've done, how you want to do it. You can type it out. And again, if you're going to be doing this kind of stuff online, then that works. But I already hear you like, but wait, you already told me I could still use paper. Just 2 minutes ago, you told me that. And now you're making me type things. Um, there's a way of moving from paper to digital that helps you in various different ways. So first off, you're going to use your notebooks. You're going to be using your scrap paper, whatever you got around. You're going to be writing on it. You're going to be doing it. Do you have time to type that all up and share it? Probably not. Because if you had the time to type it up and share it, you would have typed it in the first place rather than handwriting it for the most part. So that part right there gets you a little bit of an issue with what's going to happen. How are you going to make that work for you? But you've got a camera on your phone, and you could just take a picture of that and share that picture around. Heck, you could make an Instagram account just of all my files and share it out. And I'm not really certain that would be a very popular Instagram account, but it could work for you. That's one way of organizing things. And I bring that up because I actually had a teen that worked for me that's what she did. She just took pictures of everything and she put it on her Instagram. And I was like, yeah, but you don't even have file folders. You don't have a way of organizing, but it worked for her, so that's great. Here's what I think you should do. If you're going to be doing journaling, I'm going to recommend this product right here. It's called Rocketbook. Anybody here heard of Rocketbook before?
Not me.
Okay, so Rocketbook is a journal. You're going to go buy a journal and you're going to write in it with a pen, and you're going to be able to write things down and do your normal standard paper journaling. And there, we're solved. And I know you're thinking, wait a minute, you're going to make me buy a journal and then I'm going to have to buy refills for it. And this is what that whole app industrial complex is all about. They're going to make me buy more stuff. Actually, no. With Rocketbook, you get a regular journal. You write in it. You do have to buy a special pen. It's not particular to only them. It's a special type of pen that they use, and you can buy them from lots of different people. And you write in the book. And then you take a picture of what's in the book. And because you're using the Rocketbook app when you take the picture, it automatically digitizes the picture that it takes, and it sends it to wherever you need it to go, whether that's email, Evernote, OneNote, to Instagram, to wherever you need it to be. You could send it off to OneDrive and have it stored all up there if you wanted to. And again, you're still saying, well, wait a minute, I'm taking pictures of a book and I got to go. Here's a nifty thing about this. Rocketbook, you fill it up, you close the book after you've taken all your pictures, and then you put the book in the microwave. You put a glass of water on top of the book, microwave it for a few seconds, and the book empties and it disappears, and it's all totally clean again for you to write in and use again. You buy one time, you buy the book, you keep buying pens every so often because you have to buy pens anyway, and you get to use it anytime, anyway, and you can digitize all your own handwriting, including OCRing your handwriting to be able to write out and do that. So it's a great way of taking that physical side and moving it to digital and putting that all together. Rocketbooks, you can get them on Amazon, get them all sorts of different places. They'll cost you somewhere around $15 to $35, depending upon the version size, because they come in multiple different sizes. Of course, they have to hit the marketplace with all those things. But I think overall, it's a really nice way of getting this done. In fact, someone else who I talked to about this is using this in their medical office because they're sitting there handwriting their notes. They take the photo, they store those medical records now in their secure encrypted file folder, and then they can erase the notes, and there's no way anyone can get a hold of those notes. There's no paper that somebody can go steal or do anything with. So for some people, it's a really critical thing to do. So that's our way that we're going to get people starting to figure out digital. Now, the rest of this, we're going to do 3 different types of apps to help you get organized, to help you do this and get this all working together. One is calendars. And I know you're saying, what? Who uses calendars anymore? Yeah, who would have a calendar that they saved from high school for 30 years and need we'll just skip that part right there and we'll go on to the next app, which is a to-do list. And you have a to-do list already in your head. As soon as you see that app, as soon as you see that icon, you know, hey, wait, I get this. This is a shopping list. Here's the things I'm going to get at Publix today. Here's the things that I need to remember to take with me on the trip. We all have to-do lists. We all have simple, basic things that we do either on paper or possibly online. And we're going to talk about how to make those work together. And I'm going to show you a really great free app that will do all of that kind of stuff for you, and we'll actually use it live in class. And then finally, you need some sort of automation. Automating things will help your life because you don't have to think about what to do next. It helps clean up what you're doing and working on. And I've talked about this app a little bit before, if this, then that, in some of my other classes. So if you've seen that, we're going to get a chance today to build a new applet and make that work inside of there, to take a recipe and make it work. So we're going to do each one of these things now. We're going to take each one of these 3 steps for the rest of the class here. We still have about a half hour, and we're going to talk about 10-15 minutes on each of these to make sure that you're ready to understand the concepts and then dive in and use the actual thing. So, any questions so far? Everybody still with me?
Yep.
Yes, okay, good. Nobody's screaming and raising their hands, so that's a good thing. So our number one way of organizing things right now is calendars. You're doing things in calendar format because it's an easy way of visualizing that. You've got it on your refrigerator, you've got it on the office wall, you've got it online, you've got a paper version and you've got a digital version, and hopefully the two of them match up. I put a lot more stuff on my digital version than I could ever cram into a paper version. And it doesn't work really well to print my digital version. So I've just started to live that digital calendar life for a lot of things. And one of the reasons for that is because everybody has Outlook. Everyone here is using Microsoft Office for your office stuff, I'm certain. And you all have access to Outlook for your email. And you probably are using your calendar function there in Outlook a little bit. One of the reasons is because when you have a digital calendar, you can share any sort of thing back and forth. You can go back and forth and import new things into your calendar and export your calendar to other things, or just simply share your calendar. My calendar is essentially a public calendar here within the Broward County, so that any employee can look at it and see where I am and what I'm doing. And also there is a task list built in to Outlook. So we'll tie that back in a little bit when we go to our next app. But the idea here is you already know how to use a calendar. You already know what to do with it. Let's talk about why it's a better tool for organizing than you probably are thinking about. So on calendars, you have to think about using all those little bells and whistles of all the things that are part of the calendar. And for some of you who are already doing all of this stuff out there, great, not a problem. Just hang tight with us, because I have found that there are people who haven't thought about these things on their calendars. I had this talk with my wife last week while I was putting this class together, and she was amazed that some of these functions even existed in part of her Outlook calendar. So number one, the best way to help you be organized with your team, are you showing yourself as interruptible? And by that I mean, do people know when you're available? Not by looking at a block on your calendar, but by seeing the extras. You'll see on the image that I've got up there on the screen right there, I took a snapshot of my calendar from last week, and you'll see that there's the green, we're going to talk about that in a second, for a normal working day, Monday through Friday, and it's got a clear bar next to it. It's green for go, which means I'm working that day, and it's got that clear bar, which means I am available. That means that's the time of day that you can reach me, you can do anything you want. So all of my team, anyone who can see my calendar, understands, oh, Bob is available to help me with this, or I can ask Bob a question there. You'll notice all the other things set up there with different color bars also. A little bit harder on this screen to see, but when you go into Outlook, you can look at it and you'll see all your various categories. So you'll notice that there is on the very first day on Monday, over to the far left, there's something called Onboard Broward, and that is listed there in that pinkish color because that's a critical thing. I have to do that for someone outside of my own agency. And it has got that solid dark bar there because I am away. I am out of the office. Nobody can reach me. I am not going to answer my phone. I am not going to answer emails, etc. I am away doing something critical. I'll check those emails afterwards. Now you're asking, well, yeah, that's just a normal kind of thing, but what is actually missing on here, because you can't really quite read it, there's two little half-hour blocks here. One is on that first Monday, though. There's a little thing where it says presentation, and that is one of my progress points. On your calendar, you don't have to just put events. You put down your tasks, put down events that you need to make and have happen. In this case, last Monday, 1 week ago, I had a progress point of check the presentation that you're going to give next Monday for SEFLIN to make sure that it's done. And if I were to have the calendar for yesterday, you'd see that yesterday there was a "Is your presentation done?" event on my calendar to remind me, hey, if you haven't finished this yet, you got 24 hours. You're under the gun. You better finish it now. So I always put a start time, a progress point of at least one, if not two, and then an end point. Appointments on my calendar to keep it organized, to keep it so that I'm going to find out. I want to point out reminders and notifications are two separate things. Unfortunately, Outlook calls notifications reminders. What a reminder is exactly that. It is a reminder to do this. It reminds you this is due, this kind of thing. A notification is this is about to start. This is what's going to happen to you. And so you can set up a notification that, hey, you need to know this, and that is that. It's a reminder that your meeting is going to happen in 15 minutes. That's really a notification in things, but it's just a technical, grammar-y kind of issue, which librarians are all fond of arguing about. But just to make sure you understand that when you're talking about reminders and notifications. Hopefully that's helped you clear up a little bit more on how to use your calendar to organize yourself better. The examples I used here are Outlook, because we all have access to Outlook, but there are some great calendar apps available on your phone to link together and do those things. I use one, sports one, so that it links onto my Outlook calendar so that I know when all the Dolphin games are. I know when all the Marlin games are. So I don't schedule a meeting in the middle of a baseball game because I want to make sure I'm free with things. So all that kind of stuff, you can do that sharing back and forth and make that work and import all sorts of extra calendars. So we're going to move on from calendars now, and we're going to go to tasks. So when you're using a task app, this is a digital shopping list. This is the thing where you've told your smart speaker and you've said, Alexa, put toilet paper on the shopping list, and boom, it happens. So that sort of stuff goes forward with you, and you have your little shopping list. That's a simple, basic task list that you have. You don't have a lot of control over it in that app. So we're going to talk about a different app that I recommend for doing that. However, your task app has to have these certain parts for it to be useful for you to organize, for it to be something you can use and do. One, it has to do tasks. I know you're saying, duh, yeah, tell me something I don't know. But your tasks are not only a thing of, this is the one thing I'm doing, write this class. It is research this class, pick 3 sections about organizing, pick 3 apps for each of those sections. And then in the course of fulfilling all of my various tasks, I see that, oh, wait, I really need 4 things and I don't have time to talk about 3 different apps. I need to talk about 1 app for each thing. So that's part of how you need to think about when you're assigning yourself tasks. Another thing is projects. So projects are the overall concept. In my case, it would be presentations. So I've got a presentations project, and inside of that, I've got a bunch of different tasks or subtasks in case if the app you choose allows subtasks, then you can set those all up and you can make that all work for you. And then, of course, you need reminders. You need a reminder that this task is due. You need this to come up and do that. Now that's a separate thing to notifications, remember, and we can add a notification in our task app to let us know an app is about that a task is about to become due, but reminders are there to say, hey, wait, what stopping point are you at on your journey, on your trying to accomplish this task? These three things are part of every single task app you can find, because these are the basics. You need these three to be able to do it. If you were to use, going back to our calendars again, Outlook has tasks as part of their calendars, and you can go in and use those tasks on the calendar, and they have these three things there for you. Remember, they're going to call their notifications reminders, but you can go in and add exactly that thing, and then you can add projects and you can add in tasks to do all those sorts of things. However, I like 2 additional features to maintain a good task progress, to maintain and to keep you organized using your task manager, because pretty soon it's just going to end up with a kitchen drawer if you just have 1,000 tasks all scattered there. One of them is labels, and labels allow you to give a specific task another label to allow you to do searches and to do filters. So doing various filters and doing those sorts of things allows you to find a really good, easy organizing your organization in a meta way of making sure that you can find the tasks that are due about a particular project or that are due about a particular subject, which may be very different for you. So let's talk about this for a moment. What are the to-do list apps out there? There's almost an infinite number, it feels like sometimes. My search that I did preparing for the class here, I found over 150 different to-do list types of apps out there. Going to talk about the top one that's out there right now for everyone. And by the way, these all work on iOS and on Android and on the computer, which I think is a very key thing, because I'm not going to tell you use this app and now you're forced into using your personal cell phone to maintain other things. Todoist is an app manager that allows you to do all of the various things you want. You can do all the various tasks, projects, filters, everything that you need to be able to pull off together, all for free. And there's a Windows 10 app that you can use on your computer. There's a website that you can go to use. You can do it on your phone, so you can get access to all those. Now, if you really want to learn all about this, there's an amazing video series out there that Carl Pullian, if you haven't heard of him, he's an author and basically organizational guru who does a lot of things. He's got several hundred videos out on various different products and stuff like that, and how to use each of them and how to make that work. There's a back to basics for Todoist. There's a link in the show notes here. So when I post this online, after tomorrow, when we run the video, the audio back for it, it'll be up. The link will be in there, but you can just do a search on YouTube for Todoist Back to Basics, and his name will pop up right away. 5 videos, takes you about an hour and 20 minutes to go through all of them. Each one's about 14 to 16 minutes, and that will give you a great overview on how to use Todoist in particular, but overall how to use any task manager to its fullest extent, way more than we can do here in our 10 to 15 minutes. But what I do want to do for you is we're going to pop out of this presentation now. I'm going to bring up Todoist live here on the computer, and we're going to add some new tasks to my list of things that I need to get done so that we get a chance to really see and share exactly what happens. So here is my to-do list app. Everybody can see that there on the screen?
Yes.
Good, thank you very much. So here's a list, as we were talking about. You've got projects that are listed here. And I'm sorry, projects are here on the left-hand side. Tasks are here on the right-hand side. Each task is there, and we can add in different things. I can do my regular work ones. You'll see that at 9 a.m. this morning, I was supposed to review my previous week's emails in my box. And I can go in and I can edit that. I can do whatever. You'll see that I have these ones that are overdue already. I have 3 of them that were supposed to be to have been completed already, and I haven't been done today. You can see what's coming up here. This is a good example of tags with well-being as a tag, because I've got some of these things set up that I should be doing for my own good, for my own well-being. And so I've tagged these out so I can go do a search on tags really quick and find them. I can walk through these and do this. Now, one of the nice things about a task manager like this is I can come over here to this project, and let's go down here to our ADA reminders. So if I click here, I can see that I have this list of things that I need to check every time. So this list of apps, of tasks inside of here, I need to go check every time I make a presentation and get it done. So number one, run the accessibility checker every time you hit save so that you know that your changes are all up to there. All of the documentation features that I need to do for these sorts of things. Certain things that are critical you can change by doing those labels. But this is going to be a new task for us. We're going to start something brand new. So I'm going to go to my work project. You'll see I've got tons of different types of projects all around. One of the nice features, by the way, of Todoist, if you go to the full paid professional version is, and you'll see this here, you can assign other people tasks. You'll notice this one right here, this Creation Station Unmanned Vehicles proposal has been assigned to Devon, and when he completes that, he will turn it in. Now, unfortunately, that person no longer works for us, so that's why that task was supposed to be due in January of 2016. He didn't finish it before he came back. Again, managing teams, organizing, stuff like that. But we're in work. We're going to hit the plus button here to add a new thing. What do I want to get done? I need to read the current, there we go, library technology reports. And that is the August-September edition is what I need to do. Now I can schedule that. I can just type right here, and I need to do that tomorrow. One of the really nice ways about things about Todoist is it uses real, regular, normal English instead of having to do that. And all I have to do is hit enter, and that is done. I know it doesn't seem like it. Now, if I come all the way down to the bottom, here it is. I have my new task. It's due tomorrow. I can add comments. I can come in here and add a comment that says, return to Bill when finished. And now I have that on my list there for me. Now I have a note. I can edit. I can add a schedule. I can add people. And I can add anyone. I've got these other comments here, including flags, what the priority is. I can assign that a priority to, and it's all done. So you can see really easily how fast you can flip through these and start doing these and get a list of both today's tasks. As we saw, I've got all these various tasks. What do I have coming up in the next 7 days? So I can stay organized and know that I've got these things that are coming up tomorrow, so I can pay attention to those. And that there are other apps out there that do all of these things, but you have to pay for them. Even if it's just 99 cents, I'm not certain I want to pay for that app to just give me the extreme basics like this of what I have. If I'm going to pay for something, it's going to be the full-blown version to have access to all of these things that I want. And again, some of the other nice features about Todoist that help people, they've got their gamification stuff going on with your productivity where you get little rewards for how many tasks. I've got 4 of my 5 tasks done for my day, how many I've done over the last 7 days, etc., stuff like that. And doing those, they call it giving out karma. And over the last few years that I've been using this, I've gotten 36,000 karma points. Yes,
Yeah, sorry. Jennifer does have a question. Can you share?
Yes, sure. Yep. I did not hear her, but ask away.
It's on the chat. Can you share your to-do list?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, you can share this out with anyone else. Sharing the entire to-do list project stuff is part of the premium package. So you'd have to pay for that yearly subscription to be able to share it out. But you can share with anyone that has the free app. So I pay for myself for this version, and then I encourage, but I don't require, the rest of my team to have Todoist there. I've required my family to download this. You'll notice there's a family project, and we can assign each other projects, like who needs to go over to mom to take care for medical appointment and things like that. And anyone who has, once they've been invited in, because I own the premium license, I can invite in other free people, and then the free people can share projects back and forth with themselves also. So I can share this out with everyone. I can assign tasks to people, or I can just let people have access to my to-do list and see that. So that part of it works really well for team experiences and team building like that. And it has all the Outlook things to go back to our sharing of calendars. I can share my to-do list stuff onto my Outlook, and Outlook I can in Outlook email a task to a particular project, and it can be somebody else's project. So in my inbox, I can get a thing of somebody has to give this tour on Wednesday. Well, that's great. I'm not here Wednesday. Forward the email over to Jennifer's to-do list, and it'll automatically pop up on her list of things to do for the day, and here's the tour, and have it happen right there for you. So it's a really nice, well-rounded way of helping all those shares and stuff like that. You'll see I have 6 people currently listed as available to share ideas with and stuff like that. Did that answer your question? Yeah, Jennifer, isn't it? It's really nice to be able to just forward. And even if you're not going to use this as part of a team, if you're just going to organize yourself, getting these things here in Outlook, and every single project that you create has its own email address that you can forward to. So when I get you'll have noticed, oh, maybe I didn't show you that part of my calendar. I have an electrician showing up on Wednesday, so I'll be able to check this off on Wednesday when it's done, and I'll be able to be finished and done. 122 things in my work project list is probably a little bit excessive, but hey, we'll be able to fix that. Okay, we're going to jump back to PowerPoint. Does anyone have any other questions before we finish that? As we jump back here to it looks like everything's good. Okay, so now we're here. We finished up with Todoist, and you've got a good idea now of 2 of the things you can build and make that will allow you to share with each other, just to organize your life a little bit better and make that happen. Now we're going to get into automation. There are 2 top-of-the-line automation apps that are out there. One is called Workflow. Part of the problem with Workflow is it only works on iOS devices, so everyone on your team has to be using iOS, either iPhone or on a Mac, etc., which is not an ideal situation. So going with a slightly lesser version would be IFT. And I've talked about IFT before also. And what IFT does is it helps you automate tasks and integrate multiple things together to do this. So that you don't have to think about what you want. When we talk about our home automation stuff, you allow, you know what, I'm just going to cut away right away for that. I'm going to, instead of following up on that other slide, I'm taking you guys right over to IFT right now. So we can show you what it looks like. Here's IFT, and here's a list of the applets, as they call them, that I have right now. And you're going to see that I have this right here already set up to do a couple of things that automate my life and make my life a little bit faster and easier. I take any kind of event that I put on my Google Calendar, not my Outlook calendar, but my Google Calendar, and it automatically creates a to-do list task for me based on that. And you can see right here, it tells you exactly how that works. It's every time I put a new event on my calendar, automatically gets added to my to-do list so I don't forget about doing it, when it was created, when I last ran it, how many times it's run overall. So that's a really great, simple, easy thing to do. We're going to show you, though, something else that will help you. And Anyone have any preferences? You can see some of these here that pop up, like this one here where it turns off the Wi-Fi on my phone. It's based on location things for that sort of stuff. If there's a totally free app, the only drawback to it is you have to give it certain permissions if you want it to be functioning as much as you possibly can. And that means, for example, this applet right here, I had to give it permission to my locations so that it knew I left there. And you can see right here, I created it back in 2015. It ran 4 hours ago when I left the house to come to work. It's run well over 1,000 times for me so far. And it automatically just starts up and runs. So now what we're going to do, anybody have any things that you can think of that you'd like to try and make happen that would automate your life and make things be organized better for you? Christine, you got any ideas? Jennifer, Melanie? I can see you all hesitate there. You look like you were about to type and then it stopped. If not, we're gonna just create a brand new one right now anyway.
I really like Google Calendar events into a to-do list. I really,
okay.
And probably the whole to-do list is, one of the things that is very official in sharing that.
Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we got one from Jennifer who wants to be able to make the phone go silent when you're in a meeting or an event. So that is something that is really straightforward. I'm gonna find the one that I have. Here's one that I put that's location based. That'll work for you, Jennifer, right here. So right here, it mutes the phone when I get to the office and sets it to vibrate. This is built on the idea that you're going to give, again, locational information to them so it knows when you enter a building, enter a thing, and here you go. So this right now runs, I built it back in 2014. It ran about 4 hours ago when I hit into the library, and you can see I go in and out of libraries a lot, 2,500 times that this thing has run. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a different version. You've got the start button right below, and if you didn't already have an app, just right up here at the beginning, when you click on IFT, it will take you straight to that slide right there and how to build and make your things. So we're going to click on start. We're going to have it mute my phone when I arrive at work. We're going to receive a notification if that the app did work when it gets there. I'm going to set my area. Now, obviously, I don't work at the White House. I'm going to just skip that whole idea of whether I could do a better job. We're going to pick where we want to go by just going back out a little bit, and then we're going to type in an address. You guys are up there at the SEFLIN offices. What's the Melanie, what's the address for SEFLIN? The physical address for your building there? Do you know that off the top of your head?
452 Wimberley Library.
452 Wimberley.
I think that's it.
Let's see if it can find that. No. Okay, Wimberley Library. Oh, there we go. She's got a 777 Glades Road. That's Boca Raton, Florida. What's the zip code there?
33402? Yeah.
33402. There we go. Now we can zoom. Let's zoom back in a little bit more. That looks about right. So as soon as you get on campus, there you go. That will happen. Now we hit save. Now you could zoom in tighter and make that right there. And we just created that, and it's done that fast and that easy. Now you've got these other ones that you could use back to turn on Bluetooth, turn off Bluetooth, all those sorts of things, mute, etc. All these ones that are happening here, and you can go through and discover. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a search right now on mute phone, just so you see all the possibilities. So we've got all of these things here that happen. Here's mute my phone during meetings for you there, Jennifer. Somebody's already created that right there. When you have an appointment, it will automatically mute your phone while you've got the appointment. Not the simple one we just built of doing that, but now this would work just when you have an appointment on your calendar that you've shared here, because you need to have your calendar shared to IFT, and then that would work. Not too bad, huh?
Too bad. Can it
Yeah, ask.
can it find my computer?
Finding your computer is another one, but finding your phone, there's one that you can ask Alexa to find your phone, because you've given it access to your phone, and it can tell you to unmute your phone so that it will ring when you have her ask where it is. So yeah, it's an amazing tool to help automate all those sorts of things. We're going to jump back into our presentation here. Come on. There's that. There we go. Start up again. Resume slideshow. Yes. Thank you. Are you guys seeing the actual slideshow? Or are you still seeing the built-in app?
Still, there it
How's
is.
that for? There we go. Okay, excellent. So let's tie this all back together again for you. So we've got 4 different ways of organizing yourself, 4 different ways of taking it all the way from paper. Remember, we started with Rocketbook with the idea that you're going to take your regular paper and you're going to take a photograph of it, and you're going to allow you to help you organize all those things, get rid of some of that paper on your desk, and hopefully some of those Post-it notes that are all over your screen, and put it together. We talked about the extra features that are built into Outlook for you to keep organized and do it, and hopefully gave you a couple of new ideas about posting Wayfair points and progress reports on your calendar so that you see when those happen there. We did Todoist, which gives you a really powerful way of sharing back and forth with your app, with your tasks in and out of email, or just using it on its own to help you organize and know what are the 15 things I need to get done today and what didn't I get done yesterday, so I can add them to today or reassign them to somebody else. And then last, we looked here at IFT to see how we can use IFT to make our lives a little bit easier by tying some things together and organizing that together. Like we saw there at the end, I can have a calendar app, I can have a calendar event that immediately makes me jump over and mutes my phone, which just makes everybody's life that much easier, doesn't it? So, questions, ideas, problems, anything that you guys have that I didn't cover that you wanted me to cover, thoughts or ideas that you want me to talk about. We still have about 5 to 10 minutes to cover any other last minute questions for you guys. This slideshow will be up on available, robertanstett.com. I will post that there in the next day or two after we make sure that the recording went well, to make sure that you can go download these slides and use them all. The various links to the sites and everything are all in the notes sections of this presentation for you.
So that Rocketbook, literally, you said you put it in the microwave with water and it clears the book? So
Yeah, that's that Rocketbook idea. They have a couple of different versions of Rocketbook. One is you dip the pages in water. I don't like that one as much because I think that you don't get as much use out of the book. It tends to deteriorate a little bit faster from what I've seen. But that microwave one really works well. The pages have a grid on them. You just check, there's check boxes at the bottom to tell it what apps you're sending it to. Take a picture. Boom, it's right there in your email 2 minutes later, and I can go microwave the book and it all disappears. The teens all freak out when I use it in front of them.
That's wild. Anybody else have any questions?
I don't see any more typing. So thank you guys all very much for coming today. The class will be up there online, and if you have anything that you want me to come out to your individual libraries to talk about this kind of stuff with staff or with the public, feel free to shoot me an email and invite me. That would be right there at the Anstett@broward.org. And if you just saw that pop up on my screen, I'm not sure, did you guys see that? I had a reminder that my 5,000 step mark is due in 10 minutes.
No, I didn't see that.
I heard the ding in my earphones, and it flashed by my notification bar in the bottom that your 5,000 steps task is due in 10 minutes. So that was a nice way of ending this thing.
Bob, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Great information.
Anytime.
And Jennifer said,
yeah, Jennifer, I don't need a reminder for that one either.
great. Well, thank you, everyone, and thanks for joining us. And again, thank you, Bob.
Anytime. We'll see you guys soon.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.
I'll get this recording out to you, too.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Bob.